Hello, fellow traders. Exit strategy for profitable trades is what turns green on the screen into real bank P&L. And it matters more on the long-term success than having a perfect entry. Most traders obsess over scanning, indicators, timing the buy, but they end up giving back gains because they have no clear rules or when and how to sell. Today we're going to go over different ways traders lock in profits, the common mistakes that lead to round trips, and how you can start building an exit playbook that actually fits your style and psychology. We're going to focus on something different that nearly doesn't get enough attention, even by experienced traders, and that's how we exit profitable trades. We spend a lot of time talking about entries, setups, indicators, scanners, and alerts, but at the end of the day, the P&L is defined on where and how you exit, not by how perfect it looked on the screenshot. Even you can look back on the trade and see where you absolutely nailed it and think to yourself about when you fumbled or walked away with far less than you could have had. That gap between potential and reality is almost always the exit problem. As we go through this, I want you to be honest with yourself about whether your exits are rule-based or emotional-based. The goal isn't to find the magical way to sell a top. The goal is to build a process that helps you consistently capture the edge and avoid preventable mistakes that quietly drain your account over time. Today we're going to get an understanding the importance of exit strategies in trading by a pajama trader. Let's get into it. Why exit strategies matter. Exits are mandatory on every trade, and they are at the point at which unrealized gains either become realized profits or disappear through hesitation and second guessing. A clear exit strategy reduces emotional swings, prevents you from moving stops just this once, and keeps you from watching strong trades round trip back to break even or worse. The real objective is not to catch the entire move from the bottom to top, but to repeatedly take a rational slice that also moves and aligns with your risk tolerance and system, so that your equity curve smooths out instead of looking like a roller coaster. When you really step back, entries are optional because we choose when we play, but exits are guaranteed. Every trade will end somewhere. The only question is whether that exit is by design or by accident. Unrealized gains look great on your account, but when they don't pay your bills until you actually close the trade. Without a defined exit plan, you end up improvising in the moment, and then that is when fear and greed take over. You say things like, "I'll give it a little bit more room," or "I'll move the stop just one time." And before you know it, a solid winner has shrunk and disappeared. What I want to drive home is that your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to be consistent. If you consistently extract a piece of the move that your strategy gives you and avoid repeated round trips, your long-term results will improve dramatically, even if you never saw the exact high. Common exit styles. Traders generally gravitate towards a few main exit styles, setting fixed profit targets in advance, using trail stops to ride trends, scaling out of positions and partial profits, or closing a position all at once on a specific goal. Each of these approaches has had its trade-offs in terms of simplicity, emotional impact, and how the trend you can actually realistically capture. The key isn't to chase the method that sounds smartest in theory, but to identify the one that matches your time frame and your temperament, and the way you actually behave once real money and P&L swings are involved. I want you to think honestly about what would you do when a trade goes in your favor. Some of you are target-based traders. You know your levels ahead of time, and you sell when the price gets there. Some of you are trend traders. You trail stops and want to play as long as the chart is behaving. Some of you feel comfortable taking partial profits along the way and let a small core position ride. And some of you are very much all in and all out traders. You enter with full size and exit with everything, and in one move when the signal flares or fires. None of these are inherently wrong or right. What matters is whether your exit style is aligned with your system and something that you can execute consistently without constantly overriding it. If your exit method does not fit your personality, you'll abandon it the moment the market puts pressure on you, and that's when mistakes happen. Profit targets, trailing stops, and partials. Fixed profit targets give you clean mechanical exits defining where you can take gains before you even enter the trade, usually at the obvious resistance or specific reward risk multiples. Trailing stops shift focus to letting winners run by moving your stop up behind the price, maybe under moving averages or swing lows, which keeps you in the trend but guarantees that you won't give back some of your profits. And when the move eventually ends, but scaling out lets you take partial profits at the first target, reduce risk by moving your stop up, and keep the portion of your trade open for potential bigger moves, which often reduces regret and emotional pressure through when you wind up riding the strongest trends with a smaller size. So let me group the main exit styles into 3 buckets. First, fixed profits. You decide the trade before you take the profits, whether it's the real high or at a resistance level, or at 2 or 3R multiple on your risk. Once the trade is on, you stop negotiating with yourself and either hit stop or hit your target. It's incredibly helpful if you tend to overthink at the moment. Second, trailing stops. Instead of telling the stock how far to go, you can just let it simply run and follow behind it with the stop that ratchets up as the trend develops. That could be a percentage, an ATR multiple, a moving average, or a last high or low. This keeps you in the big moves, but requires you to accept that some profit will always be given back at the end. Third, scaling out. You might sell a portion at the first target, move your stop to break even or better, and then manage the rest aggressively or with a trail. This approach often lines up with how people actually feel in the trade, because it lets you get paid while you're still participating in potential extensions. As I show you these, I want you to pay attention to which one feels like something that you could actually follow consistently without fighting your own rules. The painful mistake of holding too long. A recurring problem for many traders is holding, whether it's too long, and abandoning their plan, usually by ignoring exit signals, refusing to take profits at planned levels, or repeatedly moving stops farther away from the price. These behaviors turn disciplined traders into emotional ones and often lead to round trips where large unrealized gains shrink into small wins or outright losses. The most valuable use of these painful trades is not to relive the frustration, but to identify exactly which rule was missing or broken so you can turn that experience into concrete change into your exit process. Most of us have lived through the same pattern more than once. You're sitting on a really nice profit, and the plan says take some here, or if it closed under this level, you're out. But instead of acting, tell yourself the story about giving in more room or waiting for one more push. The stock starts to pull back. You watch a chunk of your profits evaporate, and instead of you honoring your stop, you nudge it lower and hope. By the time you finally close the trade, then you realize that the tiny win compared to what you could have had, or even flat or red for the day. That is the cost of not having a firm exit or not respecting the one you set. These are the trades that sting most emotionally, but often are also the ones that can improve you and help you the most if you learn to use them correctly. Each of these I know better moments is an opportunity to add a specific rule, like always taking partials at a certain level, never moving stops away from a price, or exit on a specific technical trigger, so you don't repeat this mistake on your next opportunity. Real world case study, a meta trade plan. I wanted to go over some of the support and resistance and possibly go over where to exit. So 744 is roughly about the resistance area. And then you got 588. I guess you could say 590, but 588 probably looks a little bit stronger. That is being support. So if it's going up and you want to protect yourself, you want to make sure you're setting stops around 588 or 620. And as you can see that it turned over here. So you could probably plan an entry around 650 or 658 or 660 to try to catch a ride to 683. But the issue is volume. You got lower volume going here. So if you're going to enter these areas, you probably want to look at probably a volume zone like around 670. So then that way you can probably try to catch some of this momentum to here before it's sold off. And that's pretty much how you would plan an entry and exit on this play. Other platforms offers a good example of how exit choices shape the trade outcomes. With the price in a bullish trend above the 20-day and 50-day moving averages and a recent range between support near 600 and resistance around 744. A long setup might involve entering on the pullback towards the 20-day moving average near 600, placing a stop below that support zone around 588, and targeting a move back up to 744, with the potential extension towards the upper 700s if resistance breaks. From a tiny entry in the high 650s with that stop, the risk reward is modest, which makes the exit strategy, whether fixed targets or partials or a trailing stop, the deciding factor on whether the trade is real quick, a steady swing, or a larger trend hold. Let's put some structure behind this using a meta in the case study. The stock has been in a bullish trend, riding above its 20-day and 50-day moving averages, and it carved out a range with buyers showing up at 600 and sellers appearing around the mid 700s, with the resistance near 744. One straightforward long idea is to look for a pullback into the 20-day moving average area around the high 650s, or even a deeper test that's around the 600 band, support band, and then place a stop under 600, perhaps around 588, with the idea is clearly broken. On the upside, a move back to 744 is an obvious first target if the price can break and hold above that level. And you start thinking about a secondary target, the upper 700s. For something like a 658 entry with the 588 stop, you're risking around 70 points to potentially make around 85 to the first target. So your real risk reward is not enormous. This is exactly why exit method matters so much here. Do you take the defined gain at resistance? Do you take partials and try to ride the breakout? Or do you focus on the trailing stop to capture the trend as it really accelerates? Risk sizing and your exit playbook. Your exit level directly determines your risk per share, which then dictates your position size when you decide how much of your account you're willing to risk in a single trade, such as 2% of a $10,000 account equaling $200 of risk. If your meta plan has an entry around 658 or stop near 588, the $70 risk per share means you can only hold about 3 shares and stay within the $200 limit, showing how exits and sizing tightly linked. Building a personal exit playbook means that writing down your default risk trade, your usual stop placement rules, and your preferred way of taking profits for each type setup, and then reviewing refining those rules after each big winners and painful losers, is so that over time you consistently capture your edge instead of relying on improvisation. So I'll follow back on whether this helps your risk and overall process. Imagine taking a $10,000 account and you decide that your maximum risk is 2%, which is $200. Using the meta example, if you enter around 658 and your stop is around 588, you're risking $70 per share. Divide your allowed risk of 200 by 70 and you get about 3 shares. That position size is not random. It's defined by entry by where you chose to exit if you're wrong. This is why exit planning is not optional. With a clear stop level, you cannot size. Well, without a clear stop level, you cannot size rationally, and you cannot size rationally your risk, and you're all over the place. So the next step is to turn this into a written playbook for yourself. For each setup you trade, whether it's a breakout or pullback, mean revision, or intraday scalps, define your standard risk per trade, where you typically place stops relative to the structure and how you plan to take profits, whether it's targets, partials, trailing, or a mix. After your big wins and your painful misses, go back and compare your actual exits to your written rules and adjust. Nobody ever went broke taking profits, but the traders who last are the ones who take profits according to the plan, not according to fear and greed in the moment. Thanks again for tuning in.